Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video, we'll take a look at the mind map for the chapter Non-Conventional Sources of Energy for Class 10 ICSE. Now first, there are 6 types of non-conventional energy sources all over the world. Solar, wind, hydro, geothermal and nuclear. The last one is biogas, which is comparatively new. Now let's take a look at the 6 energy sources in the form of a table. First is solar energy, and the source is the sun. We use solar cells or solar panels to use it. Solar cells are used on a small scale, whereas solar panels are used on larger scale. The biggest source of solar energy in India is the Badla Solar Park, which is located in Jodhpur, Rajasthan. Solar energy has a wide variety of uses, but the main ones are solar cookers, solar heaters, watches and calculators. Watches and calculators use solar cells usually. The solar heater uses a solar panel, whereas the cooker uses reflective mirrors to concentrate the solar energy onto the cooker, the solar cooker. Next, we have wind energy. Now, wind energy can be harnessed only if there is a wind which has a speed of 15 kilometers per hour or above. Otherwise, it is very inefficient. This is one small disadvantage of wind energy. Wind energy is harnessed using windmills or wind farms on a larger scale. Now, the largest wind farm in India is located from Nagarkoil to Madurai in Tamil Nadu state. Other two famous states for wind energy are Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh. Now, wind energy can be used for obtaining electricity. Another use for wind energy is that people with lot of land can establish windmills and gain some extra income or save their money which goes to electricity. Next, we have tidal energy. Tidal energy can only be harnessed from a tidal barrage, which is a system set up or a structure set up to harness tidal waves in the oceans or seas. First, the tides are allowed to flow over a large turbine, which upon spinning rotates the shaft of a generator. This generator produces electricity which is transported over distances onto land. Now, the advantage of tidal energy is that we do not need any um, high speed waves, or we can say we don't need fast waves or fast water. This is a huge advantage compared to wind energy, but one problem is there are not many places where we can harness tidal energy. Now, some places in and around India to harness tidal energy are the Gulf of Kutch, the Gulf of Cambay, Sundarbans, and the islands, that is Andaman and Nicobar Islands. These islands don't have very fast tides, but they have lot of water area which can be harnessed easily. Now, tidal energy can only be used for generating electricity as of now. Next, we have geothermal energy. Geothermal energy is obtained from the earth's heat. That is, we use the heat energy to evaporate water, and the steam of this water flows or pushes the blades of a turbine, which, just like the tidal energy, rotates the shaft of generator and current is produced. Now, there are many locations in India where geothermal energy is currently being harnessed. Now, the first three are examples of provinces: Himalayan province, Nagalushai province, and Andaman and Nicobar Island provinces. The next three are grabens: Cambay Graben, Son Narmada Tapti Graben, and the west coast. And the last one are example of valleys: Damodar Valley, Mahanadi Valley, and Godavari Valley. This geothermal energy is mainly being harnessed for producing electricity as of now. Next, we have nuclear energy. Nuclear energy is very famous because it is highly efficient and does not require much maintenance. We obtain nuclear energy from radioactive elements like uranium and thorium. These are the two most common elements used for producing nuclear energy. Now, nuclear energy is generated in nuclear power plants. There are two ways of generating energy from radioactive elements. One is nuclear fusion, and the other is nuclear fission. Nuclear fusion is the process of joining or the linkage of two light nucleus of atoms, whereas fission is the process of splitting of one heavy nucleus into two separate nuclei. Now, fission is a process that is easy to control, which is why we use this in nuclear power plants, whereas we do not use nuclear fusion because it is very hard to control. It creates a big chain reaction which generates too much electricity for the current infrastructure. The main places for generating nuclear energy in India are Jharkhand, Aravalli Ranges in Rajasthan, and the monazite sands of Kerala. These are thorium deposits in India. Nuclear energy for now is being used for generating electricity. It is highly efficient because in India there are total of 21 nuclear reactors and they produce around 32,292 gigawatts of energy or gigawatt hours. Next we have biogas, which is comparatively new. In biogas plant we put in the animal waste mixed with water called a slurry or animal dung mixed with water, and this slurry will be the main source for biogas in these power plants. So what happens is, through the inlet chamber we add the slurry, and this slurry stays stagnant for a long time in the settling chamber. Here the bacteria act anaerobically on the slurry to produce biogas, which is transported in a pressurized manner through pipes to various places where it is utilized. There are no specific places for biogas plants or gobar gas plants as of now. Biogas also has many uses. It is for now used for cooking or heating or any other domestic purpose. The main advantage of conventional sources of energy are they are renewable, that is, they do not get depleted. The second is that they cause very little harm on the environment, so it is a very good alternative for conventional sources of energy like coal or petroleum. We can say that they are eco-friendly. The third point is that there is very less maintenance required for all these sources of energy. Solar cells need to be replaced once in every 5 to 10 years. Nuclear power plants need to be replenished with nuclear material only once in 12 to 18 months. There is small amount of maintenance to be done on wind farms every 20 to 25 years only. So this is another plus point. And the last one is that it reduces our dependency on the conventional sources of energy and hence gives it some opportunity for replenishment so that it doesn't go completely depleted. This also reduces the amount of strain put on the environment due to drilling and other activities used for obtaining such sources of energy. These were some of the advantages for conventional sources of energy. Sorry, non-conventional energy sources. Now in India, there's an organization that promotes the use of biogas. It is known as the Ministry of Non-Conventional Energy Sources, or MNCES. This is a relatively new uh, ministry in India, but it is very useful because it can help to make India work towards a cleaner and greener future. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it or learned something from it. If you did, do share to others who would find such information useful, and I'll see you in another video. Thanks for watching.